Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And I'm Amabel.
and welcome back to Amabel Goes to Forex School Total War Warhammer Edition, the episode where we have sort of overstepped probably our bounds on both sides of the planet, and I guess we're gonna have to try to figure that out. So, I provoked Lord Mazdamundi. I do not feel ready to fight Lord Mazdamundi. Maybe I'm just being a coward here, but our units are mostly peasants, and his units are mostly dinosaurs. And that, I just,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
My little birds tell
I've had a lot of bad experiences fighting large blocks of Saurus warriors. So,
Yeah, so we're
okay,
like-
ultimately, he has 5 units of skinks, all of which are pretty defeatable. He has a lot of these Saurus units with 60 armor and 1,000,000,000 health and primal instincts and the frenzy, I think, or something. They can sense prey hiding nearby, so they're better at revealing stealth units, I think. Yeah, once recently fought enemies are routing, they gain a speed and attack bonus to keep up with them and murder them while they're routing. Very frustrating stuff. It is so hard to play Skaven fighting lizardmen. It goes terribly all the time.
So we are like 15 turns in. This is turn 15.
Yeah,
And you really haven't been able to upgrade your units at all. And
yeah,
this
that is
feels,
an unfortunate factor of the combination of low growth in our home regions and the number of docks that we have to accommodate.
because it does feel like with your previous campaigns, I know the rat one didn't get to 15 turns for some reason, but that you weren't constrained by ports. You're able to get that stuff up much more effectively, and I don't know what you could have done differently.
Well, I don't
to
think there is
change the
anything.
situation by this point. Yeah.
I don't think there's any. I don't think it's not like an accident. It's just what it is. So I think what we're gonna do is run very far away.
Yeah.
We can see Lord Mazdamundi is only going to be able to pursue us. The fact that Maku Peaks
my time.
is holding the entire traversable space between the trees here means he will have to stop and attack that. And we don't particularly care if we lose Maku Peaks. It doesn't really do anything to us. And my plan is going to be to sort of run home.
Okay.
Because we are going to have slots to build unit buildings in soon.
Okay.
We're definitely going to pursue this as well. Now, the other thing we might do this turn is start putting together another army. We're only very slightly positive on money again, but we're still, continuing to unlock slots to build things in. We have naval points of interest around us. There's lots of sources of money, and we have a real healthy bank. It might be a good idea for us to. I think we're going to need more than one army to take on what Hexoatl is able to bring to bear against us. So don't let me forget to do that. But let's take a look at the other side of the planet first. All right. So we know that this force had an army. They ran off somewhere.
What do you need?
And that army probably still exists. My guess from reading this bar of power, this balance of power meter, is they have like a stack and a half, maybe. Because keep in mind, our power here represents our total military strength, not our military strength in this theater.
Okay.
So the fact that this is showing that we're like just over them means we're probably looking at quite a lot of troops still. We don't know what happened to the army they marched south with. Maybe it died. But we have to assume that they still have more than a stack left over. And unlike us, all of their troops are sort of concentrated in the relevant area. So it behooves us to be careful. Once again, I wish we had access to some scouts or something in this area. I think I'm gonna Okay, Nongchang has 15 units in its garrison, so this is a properly defended. You know, it's a large settlement, so it's got the walls and stuff, but it also probably has a garrison building. That's a properly defended thing that we are going to want to not have to deal with an enemy stack while we are fighting it.
Okay.
It could be that the stack that we saw leave is just hanging out in Shillong.
Naturally.
Indeed.
I serve only the dragons.
So Mingfen is down here. This is their guy, yeah?
Proposal.
Yeah, this is their actual leader. So he's not super built up, but he's okay, and he is in control of this force.
It's interesting that there's a question mark for one of his units for its size.
My loyalty
No, not really.
with another.
But what does that signify?
It signifies that we don't know how many guys there are in that unit.
Power is
Okay.
That's just the way it is. There's 3 levels of being informed about any unit, and when we have, you know, very little information,
Okay.
we have very little information. We can't get over there. No, we can get over there this turn. So he's got a full stack, and he's got 7 units
Without sense.
besides in this garrison. And as far as we know, those units are totally max HP.
child of the Nine.
His units are in march mode, so they're tired.
I serve only the dragons.
And of what we can see here, it's all like tier 1 and 2 units.
I am the pride of all.
It's probably a bad idea to march on them, right? Like, with them in march mode and all tired and stuff, I wonder if we could.
Yeah.
Notice his peasant long spearmen don't have the big buff, the defensive buff that ours do from the technology. So we're likely to win just like straight up melee on melee. Let's get a base damage up for our peasant archers. Is probably a thing worth pursuing.
Investment in the future.
But I don't know. I don't know if I think we win this fight 27-20, even if those guys are tired.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to stay right here inside our territory. Just ambush mode in the field. We're not super likely to remain, but if he rides over and attacks us and we hit retreat, we'll fall back into reinforcement range from the city.
Okay.
There's some chance that he tries to just ride to the Bridge of Heaven now that it seems like nobody's defending it and we get an ambush off. There's some chance that, seeing no immediate threat, he rides off to deal with other business, you know.
Yeah.
We'll just see. We'll just see what happens on that front. And then we actually have no other pressing business for the moment. We have a caravan running and everything, so okay, there's nothing left to do except talk about the assemblage of this other army. So once again, we are allowed to recruit any kind of lord here. It feels to me like lord with spellcasting is just like it's such a nice benefit to have some spellcasting. Leadership up when leadership aura size up when defending, leadership when fighting basically like evil factions, demon-y factions. That's fine. You get a better leadership aura and size up, or control and construction cost bonuses. Those are kind of whatever. Like, I sort of want to see the other lords' trees as well a little bit. This guy comes with bonus move range. That's cool. You have a distinguishing scar. You just have 7 melee attack, which is like fine. It's not clear to me what these celestial generals are really for, which kind of makes me want to take one.
Why not?
So they're marked as melee expert. Their melee stats are only very slightly better than the Shukengan Lords. And they don't have spellcasting. So it feels like that feels bad.
Is there a Warhammer-pedia on here the way there is with a Civipedia?
Yeah, but it's not usually. So there are. How do you do this? There's a set of like encyclopedia pages where you can view stats of things,
Power is my birthright.
but it's not. It's not as easy to dig around in as you might like.
You see that, yeah. Now there's a little magnifying glass button in the upper left bar. Is that it's campaign search?
So this will help us find like regions and characters. We can type in their names and
Okay.
jump to them on the map. Yeah, it's not a big deal. I mean, like, and usually I prefer to do this kind of stuff by just
I must make
using them.
Figured it
you know.
out.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna summon in. We're gonna bring in one of these supposed melee experts. Not sure why the camera jumped over to there. So the question is just which one. Distinguishing Scar is interesting. I think I probably want to push. If the whole point of this guy is that he's supposed to be a character killer, like let's lean in on the character killing. That's pretty powerful. Celestial Sweep active ability. Cuts through a crowd of bodies, leaving blood and devastation in its wake. Okay, so it just does a lot of damage to things directly around him. Yeah, so basically, do I want Irascible for 7 points of melee attack? Or Optimistic for 6 points of melee attack, and also enemy heroes are very slightly less likely to perform actions against his army? I
It's a
really...
+7, right?
I mean... I feel like the other way.
Celestial
All
General.
right.
And then we got to start recruiting, and unfortunately, you know, it's going to be a little... It's going to be a
Are
little
you
soft
feeling
here at
okay?
first.
I'm not used to you choosing optimistic over being irascible.
You're not used to me being irascible, really?
No, I said the opposite. Actually,
Scrutinize
not
my
used to being
bitch.
optimistic.
I
over.
I heard or, not over, is what happened.
It's I.
See, I was seeing it like Shakespeare with the O apostrophe ER. That's my bad.
And well, how many times have I told you you can't do YouTube in iambic pentameter? It just doesn't work. All right, is this going to turn out to be a horrible like is provoking the lizardmen going to turn out to have been a horrible idea? I honestly don't know. It does seem like we're very unlikely to be able to talk anybody else into helping us. Yep, Baku Peaks was a sacrifice. It does seem we're unlikely to be able to bait anybody into helping us. But if we can create, you know, moments of weakness for the lizards, perhaps other people will pile in when they think it is to their own personal advantage rather than on my request. I don't like the fact that they're marching 2 stacks down here.
Yeah,
I think that
it might
bodes
be a
ill.
short campaign as well.
That bodes ill in the long term. Well, the thing is, even if we did end up losing all of this stuff, we still have the land in Cathay.
Yeah.
For the moment, I guess there's some question as to how all that is going as well.
Which is an interesting position, you know, having the kind of divided position there. And they did give you that option, like, do you keep it divided or do you give up the defending your home base? I think that's an interesting divergence point.
Ah. Hey, we found his other stack. Well, I'm going to fall back then. Hopefully far enough. Them bringing in a second army to attack us from a different angle is tricksy. I was not prepared for that. That is a legitimately smart play. I don't know if the thing they did afterward was very smart. I would have kept those two stacks together.
Yeah.
Because I believe we are now to devour Hao Xian Hao, yeah?
Yes, that's what I would do.
Before the caravan are felled trees, a blockade that prevents the caravan's progress. Bandits appear demanding a toll, part of the cargo, as payment to remove the barrier, and they look ready for a fight. It's interesting that giving them our cargo will also dramatically improve our diplomatic relations with the Gold Tooth. But I don't think I actually care about that. I think I care about holding on to my cargo, and I also think this looks like a really easy fight.
Okay.
Get out of here, you. Yeah, we hardly took any damage.
Yeah, goofball.
There you have it.
The Box of Delights. A wild-eyed alchemist proudly presents you with an ornate chest, which seems to vacillate in and out of corporeality. He declares that it contains purest magic, distilled from several tons of warpstone, and purged of all corruption. His experiment, alas, is unrepeatable, so this boon must be used wisely. I can inhale the contents myself, breathing deep of the strange vapors within. As the harmonious power of yin pulses through through your veins, none will even dream of questioning you. Okay, so it blows up construction costs for young buildings, but control up in all provinces. We can add it to the water supply. I do like 20 growth in all provinces. We can simply execute the alchemist, his strange and exotic gifts, kill this imposter. And that'll decrease all of my income nationwide, but give us a massive corruption reduction. Or have some tea. Entertain the alchemist, bring forth some tea, and then send the madman and his box on the way. I mean, I kind of want to put it in the...
Right.
There's definitely no chance that this turns around on us in some horrible way, right?
No way.
No way.
You need the growth.
And we do need growth really badly. Okay, so yeah, Hao Xian, the thing about Hao Xian Hao is that his army is just not very big and not very cool. So he's got like 6 ranged units, grenadiers, iron hail gunners, and a bunch of peasant archers. He's got a bunch of jade warriors instead of his own peasant warriors. So he's not like that much weaker than us, but I do think he's weaker than us.
Dragon-blooded.
And what he does not have is Junju herself, and then of course the ogres.
Blood runs through my veins.
So I say, let us go and devour him.
Vile blood.
I think we can handle that. A Pyrrhic victory they would give us.
You think you can do better?
We have summons a unit of ancestral warriors here because this is our territory. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I do think I can do better, but I don't think it's going to be a very interesting battle. This is my primary concern here is that I might want to just kind of like move on and try to do better stuff with our time.
Okay.
I think I'm willing to take this. Probably take. Honestly, the Venerate doesn't even heal us for very much, and the Pardon's a fair amount of money. Well, honestly, no. Maybe we just take the execute captives, just get the XP.
Threat must be excised.
All right. So Mingfan definitely cannot make it to the Bridge of Heaven in a single normal move, right? He has that move range now, but it's because he's in March mode. Well, I don't know. We don't know that. Bridge of Heaven's troops are almost at full health. They're like a little more than half. I'm trying to figure out like what we need to do with this army now to keep it safe. You know?
Yeah.
I was born to wield it. Wind Shaper.
Because we could switch to March mode and find a distant, safe place.
We prevailed, but at great cost.
Thing is, if we fall back to the Bridge of Heaven, and he actually does have the forces necessary to, or the speed necessary to reach it in normal movement mode,
Without sense or honor.
I think he kills us. It is nice to see the actual composition of his army, though, and realize that like the Jade Warriors we were seeing were pretty much all he has. I do not think that this army is a thing to be frightened of if we can get him alone and we're not at half health.
Dragon-blooded Shogunga.
Yeah. It's really hard to say.
At great cost. The dragon-blooded.
I mean, we can barely make it to there with 75%.
Our efforts were rewarded. Erect a shrine to our ancestors.
All right, I'm gonna try to take the
Service
friendly
is every Cathayan's
replenishment. Let's get that unit refilled, and if he rides on us, then
Executioner.
we just gotta try to do as much damage as we can while we're dying.
Celestial General.
You are
For the Imperial family.
using all the recruitment slots in the area, just doing your thing.
Master of the Meteor Winds.
You, in normal movement mode, can just barely reach some of these things. What do you think, Amabel? Are we checking out the mysterious island or the fell cargo?
Fell is like unholy, like fell, or
Yeah.
just it fell.
Yeah,
let's
fell like evil.
I mean, I know you're into that shit. Let's do that.
Okay. This region is currently suffering a storm, but you can see the region borders right here. We'll just go back across afterward. All right, a loaded shipwreck starts to sink as your heavy-booted crew fail to take care while offloading the salvage. There is only time for one more load before they must abandon the ship. So do we focus on the arms and armor, giving us some kind of battle buff for a few turns, or the barrels of rum, giving us some sort of campaign map buff for a few turns? I think we're probably not a few turns away from fighting. Let's try the barrels. We found a pretty cool sword. +8 melee attack, makes your attacks magical, and gives you the ability to dramatically boost your damage for 40 seconds every 90 seconds. We also got a trunk of maps, campaign line of sight up, and magic item drop chance up for 10 turns. Okay. That's a lot of campaign line of sight. I like that. Yeah, look at how much damage this storm would do to us were we required to stay within its area.
City. Ensuring the Empire as well. Not on the field.
All right. One of our caravan masters is leveling up. I'm just going to focus on cargo capacity and value until they're maxed out, and hopefully I'm not skipping skills that we need to survive or anything, but it feels to me like we want to just make sure that we're getting maximum income off of all this stuff all the time. So next turn we'll have enough to do another growth somewhere, 2 turns until we have more building slots here, and back home in the Isle of the Crimson Skull we're going to open up 1 building slot each turn for the next 3 turns. Pahuax is about to level up as well. And then as soon as this levels up, we can hit it with the designation and earn ourselves another token. So we have stuff going for us. It's just a matter of holding on while we recover. And now my greatest hope here is that the Custodian's guide does not follow us because he doesn't have vision of us anymore. Mazdamundi got in the ocean. So Machu Picchu is not a port. He had to get in the ocean at the beach. And so that consumed a tremendous amount of movement. Interesting that he would rather do that and get in the ocean that way than ride south and try to take our port.
Yeah.
On a human, I'd say that's, maybe he thinks we'll defend the port in a way that he can't stop. On the AI, it's as likely
Could
to
be
be like a
anything.
pathfinding error as anything. Okay, no visible movement from the custodians. And the caravan is having even more problems. Upon the side of the road is a wrecked caravan. The original occupants are nowhere to be seen. Well, I mean, here's the thing. We sense that this cargo is cursed. We do, in fact, have the ability to carry more cargo now. I did gain some cargo capacity. But if we do that, we'll get some Chaos Undivided Corruption. 2 points a turn for 5 turns. I don't think that's a big deal. Honestly,
Okay.
if we were already like over-corrupted in other ways, it could be bad, but we've got our corruption under control. All right, reduce unit upkeep to keep expenditure below 80 of income. That's not a thing I'm planning on. Celestial Cuisine. An ogre man-eater, long in Cathay's employ, finally journeys back to his homeland, where he shares the spoils of his distant exploits. Particularly popular is a dish named 5 Spiced Monkey Brains, though in truth it is minced and marinated pork. His tribe would do almost anything for another taste. Okay, so we got a bunch of diplomatic relations with the Gold Tooth anyway. Just random event stuff.
I doubt even the sea dragon knows what lurks in the ocean.
So without having a really good sense of what Mazda Mundi is doing here, I'm going to go
Way of water.
hit this. Okay, he did run his other army down toward the shrine. Interesting. A strange campsite is discovered, populated by statues. A fire still burns and a cooking pot bubbles, and yet no living thing attends. Just statues fashioned in the throes of a failed escape. Then, in the undergrowth, something hisses. This needs to be a lightning-fast raid. I'm going to grab the fortified grog here because I think we maybe are about to have a fight at the Shrine of Sotek. If we could clip his secondary army, that would put us in much better position to try to fight back with our 2 stacks. So, your exploration of the high seas has led to blessings from the Lord of the Deeps. Your troops will be protected from harm while they have the elven god's favor. So we've acquired the Blessing of Mathlan. For 10 turns, our whole army has 25% physical resistance. That's pretty fucking good. That feels like a big deal.
Elements grant safe passage.
So if Varatidan does go for the port... Ooh, wow. Master Muni's going to be able to sail quite a distance on his turn, actually. I am concerned.
Celestial General.
Yeah.
So we definitely need to build a unit building now. We have access to all kinds of things here. What do these purple buildings do? This one will give us sky lanterns. So sky lanterns have the always flying trait. They cannot land, which, can have some upsides and some downsides.
Mostly up, because they're the
Because
up.
they're in the air. Yep.
Let's fly.
You can see here, they fire a ranged attack that has a chance to sunder enemy shields, which is pretty cool. And it's just a 275 range missile unit. They don't have a ton of ammunition, but yeah, just pick at the enemies from the sky kind of thing. Notice 8 melee attack, 8 melee defense. If birdmen or a dragon or something should get onto them, they have no way of dealing with that at all. This would also give us access to an alchemist, which would give us, some more heroes to do stuff on the map with, which is nice. A celestial tower unlocks an astromancer and some of these lion units that we're particularly good at working with. Or we could go for some more sort of meat and potato stuff here. There's the building that gets the the Jade Warriors on side. That building also allows us to recruit more crows, and we do have a lot of bonuses for crows. We have the General Cavalry building, which will get us Peasant Horsemen and eventually Jade Lancers, and eventually more Great Long Maw Riders, although that's pretty far in the future. And then we have the fireworks, the gunpowder building, which will let us get gunners and grenadiers and eventually crane gunners, which are more like Jezzail type units, much longer ranged sort of thing. War drums, grand cannons, and eventually the Fire Rain rocket battery, which is your sort of Chuko Nu style thing. And then we have some other buildings that I think are probably not the right thing right now because what we need is units. So I suppose one other thing that's worth noting is these red buildings build in a lot fewer turns. Those purple buildings are going to be 4 turns before we can even start the recruiting. We probably need to take some of this stuff.
Yeah.
The question is, what is going to be most effective against the lizards? It's probably like a bunch of guns, honestly. Just cut them down in a hail of gunfire. Because the thing about guns is armor piercing.
Yeah.
They don't have shields now. They probably will eventually. But I think the gunpowder is probably the way to go on that.
No.
And then we're definitely going to upgrade the dock as well. Here's a question. Do I want to cut the contemplation gardens from the capital to replace them with another military building?
That's a good question.
We're going to be able to build in the floating pyramid the Jade Warrior building and allow it to level up all the way because it maxes out at 3. But this could be like we could start building that purple building here, right?
Yeah.
Be getting our red stuff going, but also be working toward our lions, which should be pretty good against the some of the lizardman units. We got to watch out for anti-large, unfortunately. But also there's just like a thing that our sub faction is particularly focused on. I'm gonna go ahead and demolish it. We have another growth building here. We have more growth coming out of the upgraded docks. And then before I forget, let's declare this the fortress city. So
a question.
improved effects for military and defense buildings. And when we do this, we gain an additional token. Perform. All right. Yeah.
So a question, and this I think this probably came up previously, but it's been a while. So creating that unit building in that city, in that province, does that give you access to recruit units throughout your faction, or just in that province?
So they'll be available from the local recruitment pool in this province, and also the global
and then the
recruitment
global pool for. Okay,
globally.
gotcha.
Graves are the domain of my sister.
Thank you. I'm pretty sure you explained that like early on, but I forgot.
Okay, I think we're going to want to put up some defensive buildings around Pahuax. So the question is which one, because of course there are 2. So archer platforms give us bullets coming out of our defensive structures. Same deal here. This provides a garrison of Jade Warriors and Peasant Horsemen. This gives us 3 extra units of crossbows. But as you level them up, this one provides access to more and more like good melee units. And this one just more and more bows. It's funny that neither one of them gives you a lot of gun units for your garrison, because it seems like, guns firing off of a wall. It's pretty solid. What do I think is going to matter more? It's tough with the crossbows because like it's tough to know if they're going to do enough damage to sources while the sources are approaching to be worthwhile due to all the toughness. I'm gonna go this way. We're gonna lean that way, and then we may as well pull in some additional income if Pahuax stays with us.
Child
Okay,
of the night.
over here, we're 7 turns off of the next point of population. I probably don't want to save it. Right, because we could try to save up to get Shangwu to level 3, but we probably want to open up more slots than that. So the question is, do we open up the slots in the Bridge of Heaven? Probably not. I was going to say so that we can use it to add a little bit more fuel here, build a defensive building or something, at the risk of losing the slot if we lose the settlement. I think we want to just keep it safe. I'll put it in Baleful Hills, where we know we will get to hold on to it.
There is merit in this.
And then, pretty sure I don't want you to go anywhere. You're just healing because there's a lot of healing to do. Staying inside the friendly settlement there is going to get it done.
Instrument of the divine.
So we're going to have access to new kinds of troops in 2 turns.
General of the celestial host.
So I guess we are... Boy, everything's expensive, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to float these extra armies for very long. I was kind of expecting to get a nice chunk of money out of at least one of those points of interest. That not happening is definitely complicating things.
The Emperor's architect.
Well, let's see what the lizard men do. I think that caravan should be coming due pretty soon too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Varatidan is in fact going to claim the Shrine of Sotek. I don't... Boy, what a force. 3 feral Bastiladons. I don't think there's anything to do here, particularly as far as defense goes. Okay, just sacking it and leaving. Interesting. Mosdamundi is sailing southward, but not nearly as much as I was expecting. Yeah, that's actually very curious. Wow. He's got a lot of stacks all of a sudden, Marcus Wolfhart.
Yeah.
It's a shame he's not focused on these lizards. I don't think we have any idea what those Bretonians are doing either, do we?
No.
Oh. That's weird. There's a lot of mysterious stuff happening on the AI's turns. Okay, it's true. We were raided. Our lords continue to gain traits. Here's some bonus damage. Charge bonus up for everybody. That's not totally great for us. It's not totally terrible either, though.
Waves like crystal.
All right, so if we move on to administrative subsidies, which itself doesn't seem very good, we'll be stepping up into... into a range where our technology is becoming a little bit more meaningful. Still not really ideal. Like these technologies, you get through them quickly, but they are not the most consequential. Yeah, even... All right, I think we are... I'm just going to try to leave this first onion here. So, I was going to do this. I'm starting to worry about the money now. I do think we gotta try to get our lion units online. I do think it behooves us to have a training camp.
Eye of the Emperor.
So, Mastamodi could probably attack the Shrine of Sotek, but he can't do anything else in normal movement mode. So this would not be a terrible time for Yuan Bo to try to jump Varatidan. Notice that bar there is very red. Yeah, it doesn't think we're going to win that battle.
Governor.
And I guess I can see why. The fact that he's got 3 Feral Bastillodons already is pretty harsh. So he's got 6 units of skinks. These ones here, these chameleon skinks, are especially tricky. They are stealthy even in open terrain until they're within a certain distance of you. And they just have these little, poison dart blowguns. So they sneak around and distribute the poison debuff in ways that are hard to predict and counter. They have a red-crested skink chief as a leader. Yeah, the tough part of this fight, of course, is going to be the 3 huge dinosaurs.
Yeah.
A Bastillodon is basically like, what if an Ankylosaurus was even cooler than Ankylosauruses are in real life? If you can imagine such a thing.
Have we had this talk before? What is your favorite dinosaur?
It would be the Ankylosaurus, of course.
Okay.
Obviously. The people in the Shrine of Sotek are going to be no help at all. They just got defeated in combat.
Dragon.
But yeah, that meter's awfully red. Boy, they really don't think we're going to win this battle.
Yeah.
And that does make me nervous.
The salt breeze.
I feel like they have the auto resolver is not a genius or anything, but it has some idea of math. So these peasant long spearmen effectively have 39 attack against the dinosaurs, which have 23 attack and 29 defense, but bonus 15 versus infantry.
Close to the sea.
But remember the bonus, the typing bonus only applies to attack and damage. It does not apply to defense. So it's basically like 2 types of units that are pretty good at killing each other. I think we should be able to do this. I'm going to do it.
With the dragon's
I don't agree with
That's
the,
dangerous.
I don't agree with the video game's assertion.
See, I
Look at that, they're running.
Birds tell me such stories
Okay.
of my siblings.
No, fuck you. You're dead.
So many plots.
Oh, see, now it thinks different. You were about to say you would have waited until what?
Never mind. Never mind. You got this.
I think that maybe it was just, I don't know. It was considering the force from the settlement as the main army or something. So at this point, we don't even really need to take the manual.
A dragon
Yeah.
stands with you.
I was ready to fight that manual if we had to. Ooh, I think it actually probably overperformed for us there. Like, we were going to win that, but I do think our melee, we're going to take a bit of a beating. So, another 1,000 gold worth of recharge there. I might take the small but not insignificant Venerate here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Try to stay healthy. Okay, he's got a 3rd army at Maku Peaks already. God damn, Lizard Man. And we found ourselves a Spotter's Spyglass. 10% ambush defense chance, and the passive ability, okay. You see enemies that are cloaked in forests. And the Shield of the Nangao. Missile block from all directions, which is pretty cool. And while not moving, gain progressively more missile block and armor. Okay. As a reward for that quest. So let's grab Talons of Night as well, because it seems like it could be useful. And this is the 4th skill point we will need. So next turn, next level, we should be able to grab Greater Arcane Conduit.
Useful tool.
And thus have quite a lot of magic income with which to terrify our foes. You are going to keep grabbing levels of Bandolier. No, you're going to grab the last level of Training. Alright, make sure the XP continues to flow. What can you reach? Okay, and that's in March mode. You probably can't get on land.
The Emperor's
Alright, let me try to make it back to the road as best we can here.
haste, folly.
We're still in friendly territory, so yeah, we're getting decent replenishment.
Their valor was worthless.
Okay. Yeah, that actually went really well. I think he I think he made a mistake by sacking the Shrine of Sotek instead of keeping it. I'm going to go ahead and set repairs on the buildings. Hopefully not to just have it sacked again. But we'll see. Honestly, like if we can confine him to that kind of movement, that's not terrible either. All right, the longer we give this dude to recover, obviously, the more difficult our job is going to get. Should we build also a recruitment building over here? It would have to be one of the red ones. We could just double up. We could just grab, you know, other things so that we have the local recruitment pool available over here, and so we're not trying to gum up the global one. And also, you know, troops recruited locally are about half the cost of troops pulled in via global. Or, like, the only other thing we could do here is just get access to basic peasant horsemen. But I think with the way our bonuses work, it feels to me like it's hard to imagine wanting to have peasant horsemen when you could use Onyx Crows for almost the same tasks. The Crows have a 75% higher upkeep cost, but I think they're more than 75% better. Okay, thank you. Strong contribution there to the strategy. Hey, Amabel, what's going on? What are you up to over there?
I'm watching you play the game. I'm sorry.
Okay. Can you also help me host this Let's Play?
Yes, I can. I'm sorry.
So our troops are almost healed. This is the question, right? Do I want to sit still for another turn? How much time am I giving the opponent to just rebuild their stacks?
Yeah.
It's going to be a minute before we could... It's going to be a couple of turns at least before we could recruit any new units. Like, do I want to try...
It is my calling.
Yep, Ming Fan is still right there. Still in March mode for some reason. Very strange. I'm going to back up a little bit here. And then
Many feet, one purpose.
do the ambush mode thing again.
We must become
First of all, hoping to make it less likely to seize through us, and secondly, trying to make it so that if somebody comes from Nongchang, they'll be approaching us a little bit more from our south. So when we retreat, we'll go toward the damn settlement. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if that actually works.
I was really surprised when the person retreated just away from safety. That seemed like a
Well,
a
you
weird-
always retreat directly away from the army that forced you to retreat, as
well,
directly
that
as you
makes sense.
can. And there's other stuff going on around us, but we just like kind of don't have the time or inclination to pay a lot of attention to it. Over time here, we're going to slowly start earning back some stone, and if we can win some battles, that process will accelerate. And next turn, we have access to new troops.
Good.
We can start trying to get some gunners into Yuanbo's army, so that we can shoot down the lizards.
You have journeyed hard.
What's up, Miao Ying? Do we have a trade agreement with you? Wait, what's me? I'm that. Yes, we do have a trade agreement already. Okay. Well then, yeah, I'll just take this. Take it as it was offered. I pressed the counter offer button and then put the exact same terms on the table. And she was like, yeah, those are fine. How'd you know? Okay.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Must have been he's sailing back instead of pressing the
He
pressing
just
the
beat up
harbor.
his army.
Yeah, but he could have you know, sailed over and taken that settlement from us.
Yeah.
If he had done so, then we would have tried to envelop him to execute the old pincer attack. What is going on in the southern jungle? Because like a turn or two ago, we saw 4 stacks of Marcus Wolfhart's armies ride south. And then this turn, we see 2 of them return at 40% HP.
Well, inside him there were 4 wolves, and now there are 2.
But the armies are not in. Okay. All right. Good job.
Thank you.
Hey, look how weak those lizards are looking. They're retreating and dying in battle and stuff. Don't you want to take a bite?
My agents return.
Oh.
And the reports are as dire as I feared.
Uh-oh.
This requires my personal attention.
Okay, so we've got our second legendary item quest, and this one does have a fancy battle attached to it.
Wow.
The Dragon's Fang. In recent months, crop failures, illnesses, and pestilential plagues have befallen the farmlands of Grand Cathay. While seemingly isolated instances to the casual observer, Yuan Bo discerns deeper than most. The machinations of the ruinous powers are at play within the realm, seeking to undermine and destabilize the smooth running of the provinces. At the Jade Dragon's word, his agents have closely investigated each suspect instance, and after a time found profane markings, runes, and glyphs at the sites of all these disasters. If left unchecked, these will merely be the start of an epidemic that ravages the rural heart of Grand Cathay. So, the sword we're after yields control to the local province and to all provinces, a little bit of weapon strength, not actually a very good melee weapon, and then the ability Dragon's Fang, never fucking mind. With the buff active, actually a pretty great weapon. 20 seconds out of every 120 seconds. It's a pretty great weapon. We have no idea what to expect. But my guess is we probably don't want to take that on with peasants. So we'll keep that in mind. But obviously it is a concern for later. Also, holy hell, just blasting us with these little like procedural quests that you don't even have to really think about. They'll get done as they get done.
What do you think this is? Endless Space 2?
Master of Feng Shui.
Are you still there? He is. He is there. He finally came out of March mode.
All 8 winds bend to
This is a very annoying situation. I don't know what to do with him. So the thing is, like, we got to beat Ming Fan at some point.
Right.
We got to break Shilong and start pushing this way. I can't really advance out of the Bridge of Heaven as long as we're surrounded on 3 sides by territory that an enemy army could come out of at any moment.
That makes sense.
We got to resolve this, but I don't really have a good idea for how.
Well, you're able to start recruiting better units now, right?
Marginally.
Hmm.
This harmony threatens our order.
And he has so much territory. Like, it's my really big concern here is that I don't know how I'm going to push forward while remaining safe at all. You know?
Yeah. I mean, there's not.
Keeper of Wuxi.
I mean, that's kind of the whole thing, isn't it? You know, as you
Attention.
push forward, you're extending yourself, you're taking more risks. You know, there's always a trade-off. If everything was
Ancestors.
just gonna
Guide us.
go easily, you know, it'd be a whole
The celestial commands.
situation.
Tell the soldiers, move.
All right, so we're falling back to start putting some better units in Yuan Bo's army. I may as well just full speed it and actually make it all the way to the Crimson Skull this turn.
Instrument of the divine.
We are bleeding money. We need the compass again. So, control up. This is really more of a defensive sort of thing. Sale value of cargo and maximum cargo capacity up. Like, these are not terrible, but I think it, like, just maintaining the casualty replenishment rate for the moment, they're not really giving us a lot of interesting things to do here. Obviously, it'll help once we have more directions unlocked.
Right.
We are hemorrhaging money,
The Jade
and
Dragon.
you know, obviously I understand what you're saying
Warriors
because
mean fewer.
obviously, it's not really super helpful
Okay.
as far as strategy goes here. We have to figure out a
I
way
mean,
of breaking this army without sacrificing our entire backfield.
Right. Yeah, I'm. And here's a point where, you know, having some knowledge from military history actually is not super helpful because it's finding the game verbs that would, you know, allow you to, with a force that is not as impressive, take on a larger force.
Yeah, we can start trading troops out for Jade Warriors. But we're pretty close on money. We have to be very careful about that.
You know, something I noticed in the Pharaoh game is that each settlement has these outposts that
Master of the meteor wind.
provide, you know, some buffs and whatnot, and some economy stuff. And when you attack an outpost, you burn it to the ground or whatever. Like, there's an effective way to get them to come out of where they are, and because you definitely don't want to fight that guy within range of his reinforcements of that city. You want him to come to you, where it's within range of your reinforcements.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like they're giving you a lot of verbs to provoke here. Where in Pharaoh, I do feel like that exists because of those particular systems. But like, how do you get the guy to either let you run amok or come at you when you don't have that many points of interest, you know?
Fellow Cathayans, what you do here under the banner of diplomacy?
Out of curiosity, could I get Shilong from you? Would you just trade it for peace? No, he absolutely would not. The thing is, I think if he was willing to do that, if he was willing to just give up the last piece of my settlement here, I might just take that and disband this army temporarily. so we could refocus all of our resources on the other side. Because he won't do that, we have to be
Pardon my lack of nuance.
a little more
I
careful
am a
here.
warrior, not a diplomat.
274 for a little bit of income. I'm also obviously just trying to like
I accept.
land our trade deals and stuff. Anytime I see
You
somebody
need
that I
not
could be
face
trading
our
with.
might if you prove
Yeah.
cooperative.
All right, I don't want to take the non-aggression pact if it's not going to get us where we're going, because we're going to need it when we get the treaty signed, you know? Some of these Imperial forces might be willing.
I will listen.
Oh, looks like maybe not. All right.
You're stretched too thin. You couldn't like raise another army for that area. That'd be insane.
Yeah, no, we're over armied as it is. So one thing we could do is we could try to go into his territory and start raiding,
Okay.
allowing us to steal the money from his stuff and also, you know, get it into our own coffers, and that helps with all of our problems as well as probably provoking him. But what it doesn't do is like leave me safe to attack him or anything. Like, if I have to walk all the way over to here or all the way over to here and start raiding, I'm putting myself in a very vulnerable position right now. How many movement points do I need to 50? Oh geez, okay. So can I even, yeah, I could get into raiding mode. You know what? All right. We gotta get him going here. Unfortunately, this is gonna leave our units
Lay waste.
winded. But it is helping to defray our costs a little bit, and it is hopefully gonna
My men live in.
bait him into some kind of aggressive action.
I am equipped to talk
Yeah.
on military.
The way his strength is showing up relative to ours right now, it doesn't feel to me like he has a second full army, probably. I think he has more than the stack we're seeing, but not another real army.
The glory of Cathay is unparalleled.
Let's see what he does with this. Compass is doing stuff. Our Ivy Road's doing stuff. All right. Yeah, let's see what he does with this. It's not impossible that we could just take him in that settlement. I don't want to.
Yeah.
And it would be pretty dangerous. We don't really have an advantage. I would have to just outplay him on the battlefield to that degree, and we don't really have the tools that make that sort of thing easier. Stuff like, you know, artillery or whatever. Mustamundi advancing now on the Shrine of Sotek, now that he can see our backup army here, which is interesting. Shrine of Sotek maybe needs a defensive structure. Oh, you know what I should have done? I was going to do it, and then I got distracted talking about this stuff. I should have fired some guys from Yuan Bo's army. We shouldn't be paying upkeep for everybody, because we're going to replace them.
Right.
I have made time for you. Now do not.
Yeah, I mean, he really wants peace. It's interesting that the raiding drove him to that. For real, give me Shillong and we'll do it.
Oh,
He
do it.
really hates that idea.
The one weird trick.
All right, so that being the case, peace denied. What's it gonna be? All right, we fall back. His other army marched to reach us. They're pretty small. Okay. There's no getting out of it. The fight is happening. The auto-resolve is unfavorable. That said, all of our troops are tired. but I don't feel like this is necessarily totally unwinnable.
All right.
We are 65 minutes into the episode here. I know you like to have a battle per episode was the thing you decided on without asking me.
You know what? You know what? We can start the next episode with this battle.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. All right.
Yeah.
So that'll be then where we leave it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, this is like, I don't want to overstate it, but this is basically like the climactic moment for this war if he loses. If we're able to break these two armies together, we get to just devour the countryside until it's time to take his big castle capital. So that's going to be significant for us. So come back next time and see if we can handle it, and we'll see you then.